Yo, happy Monday, friends. January 5th. Holy smokes. First live in the new year. Let's go. I cannot wait to talk to you guys. Lots to cover, lots to catch up on. Here we go. We're going to bring in our friends over on Insta. We'll have everybody on here. Let's have some fun. All right, I'm going to arrange my dashboard here real quick. That way we'll get everybody on here. Yo, how you guys doing? What's up, Insta? Here we go. You guys are the first to the party. Good morning, Lorene. What up, Kim? What's up, Stacy? Happy New Year, my friends. Happy New Year, Dawn. Happy New Year, Jeannie. Hello. What's up, Elena? Franco. Buongiorno, my friend. Tropical Storm 808. Aloha. What's up, guys? Happy New Year, everybody. There's Leslie. I see Priscilla. What up, Eddie? Good morning, Sarah. Guys, it's that time. Let's go. 9 a.m. Pacific. I know I have not been, something, just a second. Something went wrong on Insta. That's so crazy. It just timed me out. Hold on. Just a second, guys. We might need to do a refresh on Insta. Just a second. Insta, are we still here? Okay, just a second, guys. Instagram just went down. Okay, I think we're still here. Yes, yay, we're back. All right. Can you guys hear me on Insta? You know what? Instagram just keeps timing out. I don't know what's happening. This is unbelievable. This is the first time this has actually happened. Hey guys, so Instagram keeps timing out. Can you guys, am I still here? Am I still live on Insta right now? First time this has actually happened. It keeps timing out and saying, oops, something went wrong. Okay, Insta's good. That's so weird that it's doing that. So wild. Okay, great. Let's go then. Rock and roll quick. I don't want to touch a thing because, yeah, it's bugging out on me. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody has had the most amazing new year so far and that everybody is well underway. Okay, good. Kim, okay, you can hear me. Fantastic. Good. No interruption. That's so weird. Well, fantastic that there's been no interruption. I guess it's just on my end. Literally, the big X pops up and says, oops, something went wrong, and the whole feed goes down. But hey, rock and roll. We're still good. They're doing something right over there at Instagram then. All right, guys. Here we go. 5 years into the new year. I want to know real quick, how many of you started on New Year's on January 1st, and how many of you are starting today? Because it's very reasonable. A lot of people think, okay, still craziness from the holiday, kids are still out of school, blah, blah, blah. And so they want to get started today. How many of you are actually starting today versus starting on the 1st? You can even just drop in the chat, start on the 1st, or just drop a 1 or just drop a 5 or today, whatever, however you want to say it. Let's see. Cassie's starting today. I love it. Michael Bullard, Happy New Year, my friend. What up, Kate? You can't hear me on Facebook. Can you guys hear me on Facebook? Here we go. What up, Madeline? Who else start? Okay, let's see. Just for the funny dog videos, started on the 1st. Laurel started on the 1st. Jenny is starting today. Heavy's starting today. See, I like it. And by the way, as long as you start, you start. In my eyes, everybody here is winning. This is fantastic. Courtney started today. There's something also about a Monday, you know, especially coming off of the holiday and all the craziness. Kelly started today. This is great. Hillary started today. All right, rock and roll. So my next question then, okay, Rosalie's fully started today. Let's go. All in. Okay. This is fantastic, guys. Also really quick, we're dropping the episodes of the making of. So essentially it's not official yet, as we haven't even told you the name of the show. It's not just a show also, but we haven't told you the name of what we're creating yet. It's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to be dropping episode 2 of the making of tomorrow. And so do not forget to watch on YouTube. We're loading all the full episodes on YouTube. We're also sharing them on Facebook. Now, Instagram, obviously, we can't share the whole thing. So just there's a link in my bio on Insta, and you can go on there and just go ahead and just head over to my YouTube channel. It's the same thing, Real Chris Powell. And we're putting all the full episodes on there. So you'll see the making of, and at the end of the episode, we say the name. And then we also, there's a little bit more of a description and an explanation of what it is that we're creating here. And so I hope you guys love it. Also, tomorrow at 6:30, tomorrow night, 6:30 Mountain Time, so it'll be 5:30 Pacific, I'm going to be going live. And so it'll give everyone a chance to watch it. And if you guys have any questions, then I'll be live tomorrow at 5:30 Pacific, so y'all can ask me your questions. And then I'm going to be going live after all the episodes after that. So when we start rolling these suckers out, then that'll be an awesome chance for us to connect. You can ask questions, and we can get you the answers, and we can have a lot of fun. I'll give you all the behind the scenes secrets in the meantime as well. So, guys, it's gonna be a blast, and I'm so excited that y'all are on this journey with us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, okay. Enough about that, but just remember, so tomorrow we're rolling out episode number 2, and this is all the making of, kind of like the behind the scenes as it's leading up into as we launch this whole experience, if you will. And then I'll be live tomorrow, 5:30 Pacific. So for everyone else who's just joining us, Happy New Year. And we're talking about starting on the actual 1st or starting on the 5th, which is today, today's a huge day for a lot of people. So I would like to know, and this is just so appropriate, especially at this time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this to the stage right now. Really quick, not that one, this one here. What is the habit that you're adopting in 2026? Because we talked about this. For all of you regulars, all of you OGs who've been here for a while watching these lives, we talked about this over the last couple of weeks, just the importance of not taking on too much in the new year, right? This is like one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make. And so what is the habit that you're adopting in 2026? What is that habit? Remember, it's one non-negotiable. But here's what I want to do today. I want to drill down on this because I really want to make sure that all of us are prepared for success, long-term success. We're not going to get into this whole Quitter's Day thing, January 19th. We're not going to be part of the 50% statistic that drops off by the end of February. No, if we actually have the knowledge and we start to understand ourselves and our behavior behind it, then we'll be equipped with everything that we need to have long-term success, to actually change our lives. And it's all going to start up here. It's not just that, oh, I'm going to, drink a gallon of water a day and then, portion out all my 5 meals and 45 minutes in the gym and blah, 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 blah. It's a lot. It's too much. All the literature suggests that you take on one thing. Last week, we talked about a habit that we effectively adopted in 2025. Many of you were able to successfully start a new habit in 2025. And that's what led to your success. Everything on top of that is gravy. So we now have an opportunity to create and layer on one more habit in 2026. What is that habit going to be? Have you had a chance to think about it? And if you haven't, that's okay. Even if you start tomorrow or you start next week, as long as you start, you're going to start. Heads up, you'll never be more motivated. Future you is not going to be more motivated than you today. Keep that in mind. So think about it. Put in some work. Again, put in the work to think about it. And then we're going to go with this. Okay, so what is the habit you're going to adopt? Drop it in the chat. Let me see. What is it? No soda. Strength training. I love it. Eating more food. I love it. Yes, this is key, especially for those who've actually had a bariatric surgery using GLP-1 medications. Don't you dare think you're just going to use a medication or undergo a surgery and think that the problem will be solved. I'm just not going to eat. You will do far greater damage in the long run than had you not done it in the first place. So the key is you must eat. Your body is an energetic system and it needs that energy to function properly. You got to eat. That's the magic is in the eating. And the magic for long-term success is eating adequate calories and adequate protein and resistance training. I love to see all of this. So thank you for sharing that, Kate. Jeannie, I'm adding my daily movement with food logging. Let's go. which, by the way, also the literature suggests time and time again, by the way, hundreds of studies that are all published in peer review literature. Those who track, they lose more weight and they keep it off longer. It's just the fact of the matter. And it's the most accurate way of knowing exactly what's happening with your body is tracking. That's huge, Jeannie. Here we go. Water for Arlene. Consistency for Linnea. Beautiful. Consistency over perfectionism. I hope we've established that one really well, because perfectionists burn out every single time. We're going to focus on that consistency. Priscilla's doing boot camp 5 days a week. Fantastic. Okay, over here to Insta. Here we go. What are we going to be doing? Plant-based dinner meal per week. Wonderful. Kim's going to be moving some more. I love this. Yes, and Kim, we talked about this. Here we go. Drink water first thing in the morning. Sorry, I'm reading a couple of these. Here we go. Food prep every week. 64 Leslo. You're speaking my language right there. Food prep every week. Self-integrity with food tracking. You know, Lana, I'm really glad you brought that up. Tracking, honestly, is probably one of the most beautiful things you can do. And it's one of the most empowering things you can do. We just established that tracking is important. We know this. And again, the statistics say that if you track, you will lose more weight and you will keep it off longer. It's the most accurate way of controlling your body, gain, maintenance, and weight loss. However, how many of you, think about this, how many of you don't track honestly? I know I'm guilty. I can't tell you how many times, I've tracked my peanut butter, oh, this is about a tablespoon. No, it wasn't. It was 3. And guess who I'm hurting? Me. I'm only hurting me. So if you don't track honestly, as far as the portions and the amounts and even the foods that you're consuming, you're only hurting yourself, and you're not setting yourself up for long-term success. If you track honestly, that means that you are truly dedicated to your long-term success. And there's only one person in the world who has to see it, and that's you. It's between you and you. So do yourself a favor and tell yourself the truth. It's one of the most beautiful gifts you can give yourself. And it's the most empowering gift. And so again, for those of you who are tracking, please, for your own sake, track honestly. It puts all the power back into your hands. And even because then even if you aren't getting the results that you're looking for, and you can say, well, I'm tracking and I'm doing all this stuff, deep down inside, you're not. And so track honestly, because a lot of times you'll start to lose track, pun intended, you'll lose track of those little, when you're fudging it, right? When instead of a tablespoon of, you ate 3 tablespoons, or as portioned to 3, but you only tracked 1. Sometimes you start to forget about that. In the moment, you know what's right and wrong, but a week down the road, you forget. And all you remember is that I tracked my peanut butter, but you didn't track it accurately. And so please guys, do yourself a favor. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself. And guess what? With that comes responsibility. It's you taking responsibility for yourself, which is so beautiful. So yes, do that. Keep it up. Okay, here we go. So that's the habit. I love it. Thank you guys so much for sharing the habits that you're adopting. And by the way, I see some really powerful ones in here. Okay, next. Now here's what I want you to do. And I want to guide you guys through like a little journey here. And it's really establishing and implementing and ingraining this habit into you and who you are. So here's what I want you to do. Please play along with me on this one here. Everyone who's just joining in right now, we're establishing our habits for 2026. We've just declared them. Everyone's declared them on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Now, the next question is, who are you becoming in 2026? It's not a trick question, but the answer, though, to this is where you bring in your habit. Like, I am becoming someone who moves my body every day. I'm becoming someone who does meal prep on Sundays and Wednesdays. I am becoming somebody who, and there's a power in our words. And when you can start, and they're not just going to have this conversation right here, but if you declare it right here, that's one of the most powerful things you can do right off the bat, because you're taking it out of your mind and you're actually putting it right here onto a screen. Or even if you don't want to share it right here on Insta, you can even just, the best thing you can do is write it down so that it's out of here and it's actually, it's tangible. Because if you can name it, you can tame it. And if you name yourself as I am a person who does XYZ, whatever habit it is that you are adopting, then guess what? It's so much easier for you to actually live into that, to make that happen. So okay, here we go. And I'm gonna celebrate you. Arizona Winglet says, I'm a person who keeps commitments to myself. I love this. This is beautiful. Kimberly Cox, what up, Kim? She says, I'm someone that puts themselves first and their health first, who prioritizes. So beautiful. Maybe one of your habits in 2026 then is going to be setting boundaries for yourself. Lisa Davis, I'm someone who likes to walk outside. Beautiful. I love this. Let me see. Kelly, I am someone who has integrity in all that I do, and integrity. Beautiful. Someone who does what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. Okay, Tanya is going to be someone who gets in more water per day. There we go. I'm going to scroll down here on Facebook. Here we go. Ashley gets my gut health back on track. Yes. I love this. Tammy, I'm becoming someone who appreciates each day, hour, and moment I'm alive. Boy, that's something I need to aspire. I aspire to that, especially to be in that place all the time, because all too often life comes creeping in and I get stuck in the rat race in the game. But whenever I can step out from it and just appreciate just the moment, and I have like that moment of gratitude, it makes all the difference. Big Family 1517 on YouTube. I'm someone who stays consistent with steps. Amen. Beautiful. Guys, so this is, if you can actually start to have this conversation, and there's a reason why, guys, this isn't a bunch of foo-foo stuff. Again, I'm going to go back to the science. This is all science-backed. And they've actually found that individuals who set identity-driven goals versus outcome-based goals. So if it's identity-based and they say, I am becoming someone who does XYZ, it actually sticks in the long term. However, outcome-based goals, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. That's great. And while that might be great immediately to establish that goal, if you're not someone who actually begins to adopt those habits to then achieve that 50-pound weight loss, a lot of times people will achieve the weight loss and then they'll turn around and gain it back. Not this time. Nobody here. If you start to actually, if you practice your identity, then you can live into it. So that's why it's really important that you start to have that conversation with yourself and you start to own that. You are the person that is becoming that. Beautiful. Gertie says, I'm a person that makes choices that supports the healthier me. Beautiful. I love this. Balea, I am someone who gets at least 6 hours of sleep each night. There you go. And you're just that person now. You are that person. And that's important to you. And it will be from now on. If you say, I am that kind of person, like I'm becoming a person who does this, then that's the kind of thing that will stick throughout the rest of the year and beyond. Great job, everyone. Thank you. Please, 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 everybody, practice this stuff. I know it's like, oh, I'm not going to say that. That's, please. It doesn't seem like it's powerful until you do it. So don't take my word for it. Look, I'm sure you're probably watching this at home, or maybe you're in the car or whatever, and you're doom scrolling. No one's around. Don't take my word for it. Just say it out loud. No one's around to hear. Just try it. And you'll be really surprised if you can start to practice that on a regular basis. There's a reason why the science continues to support this. And it supports people who take on the identity. Again, don't take my word for it, but I'm only saying it because I care. So I really hope this helps all of you. Okay, so let's talk about further about helping you guys ingrain these habits. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this one down. I'm going to add one more thing to stage here. Okay, I want to know. Tell me in the chat really quick. What's one reason that this habit actually matters to you? And why does it matter to you right now in this season? Why is this habit important to you? Whatever it is that you're doing, I've seen water, I've seen food tracking, I've seen moving more, I've seen resistance training, I've seen more sleep. Why does this matter to you right now? And it's important that you establish this because it has to be relevant. when it comes, by the way, I hope you guys see what's happening here. Those of you who are familiar with a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. If it's not relevant to you, if it doesn't really matter that much, you ain't going to do it in the long run. But if you understand the impact that this is going to have, so here we go. And it looks like many of you do understand the impact. Rainy Doll says, I want to get healthy again so I can keep up with my grandkids. Hell yeah. That's one reason why this habit matters to you. Kathy Jo Harris says, I want to be better health and mobility. Yes. Lana says, I want to maintain a healthy weight. Amen. Steph, what's up, Steph? She says, I need to stay true to myself, to show myself that I care about me. Absolutely. That's exactly what this habit does for you. This is beautiful. Gertie says, because I need to change a family history of declining health at my stage of life. Boy, I can't think. That's a really powerful reason. Heading over here to Facebook. Here we go. Michael, what's up, dude? Says it matters because it will give me confidence and I will like what I see in the mirror every day. Absolutely. And keep that in your forefront. In fact, everybody, please. Another thing you can do here. I thank you all for sharing this and for writing this down. One of the best things you can do also, write it down on a piece of paper, put it on a sticky note. Why does this matter to you right now? You see where we're going? This is a deeper thing here. This is part of a why. There's a lot of layers to a why, but this can absolutely, we're starting to get there. And by the way, for all of you, I'm just going one level deep on the why. But if you ask yourself why a couple more times in this, you don't necessarily have to share here, but you might start to uncover some really powerful drivers behind this. And those are drivers you can keep in front of you on the days where you just don't feel motivated. So Kate says, here we go. I've let myself down and beat myself up for not making a goal 10 years ago. It's important now because my transformation is happening in leaps and bounds. Kate, it is. And myself and the entire collective, we were all witness to it. And it's beautiful to watch. So this is incredible. And this is insanely important that you're keeping this and you're creating this habit for 2026. I love it. Sonia on YouTube says it matters because I have integrity in many areas except for nutrition. You want to get healthy and get rid of your medicine. Yes. And food and movement, those are medicine. They're incredibly underprescribed medications. and for the most part, the exception of food, but it's a lot less expensive in the long run. And that's beautiful. And of course, as far as coming off your medication, do that in conjunction with your doctor, of course. But absolutely, we'll see it happen time and time again when you start incorporating these beautiful pillars of wellness into your life, how much healthier you get. Here we go. Andrea says, because I'm tired of betraying myself. Yeah, that's a hell of a reason right there. That's as powerful reason as any. It's beautiful. Nancy says, I want to get to bed early and be less tired. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good reason. Not be so exhausted and foggy and tired all day long, right? You want energy and clarity and focus. Lisa says, I don't want to be a burden to my family in my golden years, right? Because they're supposed to be your golden years. So why wouldn't they be enjoyable? Instead, why would your family have to take care of you? You guys, we've all got the opportunity now to do something about that. Man. And again, I want to thank everybody for sharing and you're not just sharing for me and for everyone here, which by the way, it's really helping as you share, other people can start to get ideas from your example. But I hope you all see that you're sharing for yourself. And by doing that, by actually putting your thoughts onto the screen and typing them in, it's a really powerful thing. And I'm always going to go back to that saying, if you can name it, you can tame it. And so the more you can do this and you can explore your thoughts and your priorities and your motivations and your identity, this is really how you become the person that you've always wanted to be. Again, it ain't woo-woo foofy stuff. It's very real. So thank you. Okay, I got another question for you. And then you guys can put me in the hot seat. I know like it's 10:25 right now Mountain Time. You guys can put me in the hot seat and happy to answer some questions here, but I still want to focus on you right now. So more on you. Okay, so real quick, everyone, this is a fun one. This is a really fun one. How's your life going to look and feel in 30 days if you keep up this habit? I guarantee you in 30 days, quite a few are probably going to look and feel differently. What's it going to look like? Go there right now. Think about it and be realistic and share. That's right, Arizona Lena. You won't be so tired all the time. You'll have that energy and the clarity and the focus. Fit Girl Peaches. Yeah, she says, I'll feel and be happier. Yes, Hillary, you will have more energy and self-confidence. What up, Hillary? Good to see you, my friend. Lisa Marie says, I'll be much more rested and a lot less stressed. Think about how good that's going to feel. Again, all of these are further ingraining the importance of this habit today. I hope you guys see this. If you do this every day, what's your life going to look like in 30 days? Lisa, yeah, I'll feel better and have more energy. Yeah, Michelle on YouTube says, I'll start trusting my own word. You will, Michelle. Robert, yes, I'll be able to shop in the store for clothes. Imagine if you do this for 30 days, if you're 30 days out from shopping in the store for clothes, what a victory. What a new level of freedom also. You don't have to buy 3X, 4X, 5X clothes online anymore. You know, the pocket tees, right? I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about because I've worked with so many of my close friends. For the longest time, all they could buy were those 5, 6X pocket tees. Different colors. That's about it. They had to order them online. Kim, yes, you'll be so proud of yourself in 30 days. Yeah, big family, 15, 17. Yep. You will be keeping your promises to yourself for once. Sonia Abbott, I'll feel better. I'll have more energy and smaller clothes. Yes. How worth it is keeping this habit every single day. It's so worth it. Sally says, I'll respect myself. Madeline, I'll feel happy and have more energy. Sadie says, I won't be huffing and puffing on some of my mountain hikes. Beth, what's up, my friend? She says, I'll feel amazing because I won't let a number dictate my day. Amen. Priscilla, less pain and less anxiety. Guys, these are what beautiful reasons to make this habit a priority in your life. Think about the quality of your life. And also think about if you're showing up, you're not huffing and puffing. You've got more energy. You're sleeping better. You feel better. You've got more confidence. You're happier. Think about how you're going to be showing up in 30 days for everyone around you, for your partner, for your kids, for your coworkers, for everybody. You're going to be showing up as just a better version of yourself, and you can do it in 30 freaking days. Like, who's in? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm still dealing with that thing, guys. I know this is like never ending. Oh, but this is just so cool, guys. Thank you. All right. And beautiful, beautiful shares. Okay, real quick, if you don't mind my asking, let's get a little bit more granular. Let's talk about today. What time of day is this habit going to happen? And the reason I say that, and this is a quick little coaching tip right now. So really quick, what time of day is this habit going to happen for you? Is it morning? Is it evening? Is it after a certain event? And I'd like to help you guys out here also, because if you're not sure, or if you're just coming in right now and we're talking about habits, the importance of adopting a single habit, just adopting one habit. It's not even a New Year's resolution anymore. It's a New Year's habit, not with an S, habit. So what's one small thing that you can actually adopt that's going to absolutely change your life? So we've already established that. So now that once that's established, what time of day will this habit happen? And this is actually a really powerful tool right here in the habit creation process. So good. I like where we're going this. Kathy says during lunchtimes, breaks, or after work. Kelly says, we'll start with a glass of water when I wake up. So first thing in the morning when she wakes up. Yep. Gertie says, doing this on my lunch break. Excellent. This is beautiful while you're watching this. Kim says, right after my sun, cold and caffeine routine. I love it. The triple C's. Well, cold, caffeine, cardio, and sun. Here we go. Sandy says, as soon as I wake up. Lydia says, early in the morning, beginning. Beautiful. Sarah says, I signed up this morning for a 6 p.m. strength training class. So it's going to be happening in the evening for Sarah. Good job, my friend. Let's go. Jessica says, after work. So to tune out the stress. Beautiful. Okay. The reason why I ask, now listen, please listen carefully. The reason why I ask is that this is so important it's important that you understand the time of day that this habit is going to happen if you're really serious about keeping it on a regular basis, because we can do something called anchoring, and you anchor it to a cue. Okay. For example, right after I pour my coffee, I walk 100 steps. That is if walking more steps or putting in more steps is going to be a thing for you. Or maybe it's not 100, maybe it's 500. Who knows? I pour my coffee and then I go on a walk around my neighborhood, whatever that is. Right after I brush my teeth, I'll write down one gratitude. Or right after I close my laptop at 5 p.m., I'll prep tomorrow's food. So anchor it to a cue that you do every single day. Brushing your teeth, drinking your coffee, opening your laptop, closing your laptop, whatever it might be. Walking out of the bathroom, driving to work. Maybe it's driving to work and I'm going to do a breathing exercise while I'm driving, because that might be when you might be experiencing some stress or anxiety. So what's a daily thing that you do every single day already? And what you do is you anchor the habit to that thing. You see where we're going here? You see how easy that can be? And if you can anchor the habit to that thing, it's much more likely to stick. And you commit to tie it to whatever that cue is, that daily cue that you've already kept for, who knows, 20 years, 30 years, you're doing it anyway. So now anchor your habit to that, and it's going to increase the chances of it being super sticky and you actually doing it on a regular basis. So I've already seen many of you have already tied it to an anchor, or you've already signed up for the class where you're going to have to show up anyway. If you can think of any kind of thing to anchor it to, by all means, please share. If you can name it, you can tame it. And this is how we create it. Here we go. Ashley says, after I have my cup of coffee, I get dressed and go to the gym. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go. Tamsgram says, vibration plate under red light right after brushing my teeth in the morning and the evening. There you go. Now we're talking, guys. And guess what? You start anchoring, it increases your chances of success. That's all this is about, guys. It is every single thing. We're talking about increasing your chance of lifelong success, about making this thing happen. Jessica, after changing out of work uniform. Sandy, after my morning hygiene routine. Yes, I love it. Here we go. Big family 15-7, breathing in the morning before I get out of bed, before my feet touch the floor, to put on the mindset to carry me through the day. Bingo. You wake up in the morning, you turn off the alarm, you do your breathing exercise before your feet hit the ground. Excellent. This is what I'm looking for. Great job, guys. Great job. Okay. Final question. And I'm going to shoot you straight here, guys. We got to be realistic. So first of all, way to go. Anchor, anchor, anchor to a habit that already exists. Chances will go up significantly. Now, what's your backup plan? If something gets chaotic and all of a sudden you brush your teeth and there's something pressing and you didn't get your 500 steps in, or you didn't do your vibration plate, or you didn't do your breathing exercise and you had to run out the door and all of a sudden everything went awry. What do you do? What's your backup plan? What do you do? Because guess what? It's going to happen. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. If life can throw you a curveball, it's not if, but when. It's going to happen. So, and it's going to happen to all of us. Guys, imagine thinking about the ups and downs you went through in 2025. And do you think for a second that 2026 is going to be all rainbows and unicorns? No. You got to be ready for the road ahead. There's going to be some twists and turns, and there's going to be some crazy days out there. So here we go. I love to see this. I'll forgive myself, get back on track as soon as possible. Yes, and not give in to the all or nothing mindset. This is where the perfectionists, if it doesn't happen one day, they go, that's it, I'm out. That couldn't do it properly, couldn't do it perfectly, I'm out. Perfectionists, they always burn out. They always burn out. Doesn't work. This is actually where the whole consistency comes into the conversation. You must be prepared to give yourself some grace, pick right back up, and keep going. There you go. Madeline, you're right. My backup plan is to start all over again. Imagine if all of you, imagine this, because I hear this a lot, though. I hear, I'll pick right back up and I'll just get right back on my feet. Yeah. Imagine if you did that since the first time you started to, you attempted to achieve something. You would have already achieved it a long time ago. So maybe this is the year you actually do it. Because I know there's a lot of perfectionists out there. I love y'all. But at the same time, you're burning yourself out because you're chasing something that doesn't exist. So it's really important that when you say, I'm going to get right back on my feet and I'm just going to keep going, that's probably the most important muscle that you can train in the journey of transformation, because you're going to fall. Everybody does. Anyone who's achieved success in life in any aspect, it's been messy and they've fallen over and over and over again. You know what they got really good at is getting right back up on their feet and moving forward. So yeah, your backup plan, give yourself some grace. Pause. I love it. Lana, pause, reset, and move on. That's exactly it. You know, I'm going to share something with you guys. And this is just the language that we've used in this for a long time. There's a process that we use in transformation called CRR. And it's literally a formula for resetting, for getting back on your feet. And I'm going to give you guys the secret formula right now. So CRR stands for confess, reassess, and then recommit. And it is one of the most beautiful and powerful things that you can ever do when a commitment that you made, a habit that you're trying to keep, a habit you've anchored, that you've already established that's important to you, and it falls apart one day or 2 days. When you are ready to get back on your feet, you simply CRR. So confess. It's wonderful if you can say it to yourself. That's great. It's even more powerful if you can share it with somebody else. And there's a magic in that. Remember, humans, we are not made to heal alone. And no man is an island. We need that connection with others to help us heal. And so there was a lesson that we had in the collective just the other day of when, and a lot of times, if you don't keep your habit, how many of you have felt shame behind that? Oh, you said you're going to do it, and all of a sudden there's one day you don't do it. And so a lot of times you feel shame. And what does shame make you do? Shame makes you isolate. But it's also the last thing that you should do, because isolation actually makes shame grow. And so the very first thing you should do if you want to truly get back on your feet is find someone that you trust, and you confess, you reassess, and you recommit. And when you are safely witnessed in that confession, and someone you say, hey, look, I said I was going to walk 500 steps after my cup of coffee today, and I didn't do it. And it turned into 4 days in a row, and I haven't walked since. So Jerry, that's who I'm talking to. Jerry, I didn't keep my promise to myself. That's a confession. And guess what? When Jerry goes, hey man, I really appreciate you telling me that. That's awesome. So what are you going to do? Boom. We just moved from the confession. Now reassess. Well, you know what? I realized that 500 steps after my cup of coffee, it was a lot. I'm going to go ahead and reduce that to 250, but I'm still going to get my steps in. But I'm going to do 250 instead of 500, because after 500 steps, I found myself, I was getting late to work a little bit late. And so you reduce your steps to 250, you have your cup of coffee, 250, and you say, you know what, I can do this. And that's where you recommit to it. So you confess to Jerry, right, that you didn't do the thing that you said you're going to do. You reassess it. I shifted it so that I'm still engaging, but it's a lot more reasonable in my life. Or maybe 500 was still good. I can still stick with that. And when that feels good, I recommit to it. You guys get how amazing this is? Please don't forget this formula. Confess, reassess, recommit. We use it in the collective all the time. In my community, every week we CRR. It's important because everybody messes up, and it just gives you all a chance to unload it and move forward. So I want you guys to have that as you're going through your own journey. Beautiful. Oh, guys, thank you beautiful for all of these shares. For all of these shares. Yeah, and all of my friends in the collective, yes, we're talking about CRR. I love it. They're dropping their thoughts and feelings about it. It's a game changer. It is really, Sarah says, it's powerful, and it's hard to do sometimes. It's really hard because a lot of times we feel like it was a failure because we put morality on it. We go, oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, so I'm bad. Not at all. It takes so much courage and strength to confess to somebody else. And it's not a weakness at all. I mean, it's the greatest. Brene Brown, right? She says it's the greatest form of courage is being vulnerable. And so when you can do that, man, it is freeing. And we see everybody who does it time and time again, they move forward with more enthusiasm than ever before. Imagine if every time you fell, you knew what you had to do, and you could simply plug in a formula and you could follow the steps, and you would re-engage with more enthusiasm than before, which is exactly what this is right here, why wouldn't you do it? Why, like, how beautiful is that? Because if you every single that's like it's the magic formula for consistency, for getting back up and moving forward. Then you're guaranteed to reach your goals. Like it's a no-brainer. Isn't that cool? I hope it's super cool for you because you've got something really powerful in your back pocket now. Yeah, right. Steph, CRR, it keeps you in check and on point. That's why you do it on a regular basis. Guys, it started way back when with peeps in my show. We would CRR. It's really powerful stuff. Okay, here we go. Now, guys, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for participating in this for your own sake as well. Put me in the hot seat. Let's go. Ask anything. What is workouts, food, subs, habits, motivation? Where do we want to go? If there's any questions that you have, or maybe you guys are pretty well set and you're feeling real confident in the direction that we're going right now and in the habit that you've got. Hopefully I hope for your sake, it's really simple and you can do it every single day. So where do you guys want to go? Happy to answer any questions. Let's go. Yeah, Sarah said she just shared this. Going back to CRR, she said, I feel like I've gotten further in 21 months than I did in the previous 10 years. And CRR is a big part of it. I'm telling you guys, it's a powerful formula. Okay. Tanya, how do people on my show lose so much in such a short amount of time? Okay, well, here's the thing. Fortunately we had a year. It wasn't just 3 months. And so we actually had a longer period of time, but still, a year is not much time when you're losing 200 and something pounds for a lot of folks. And I know early on, you probably saw them losing, 90 pounds in 3 months. We pulled them out of their world for 3 months. And so it was their job. Remember, we paid them based on, like whatever their job was and everything. So like it was just their job to move. So they were walking and we were doing, and again, guys, there's so much I would do differently now, but we were doing bleachers and what we call cardio accelerators, all ton of walking. I mean, hours a day of movement. And then as far as the calorie intake, fortunately, we didn't have to slash calories at all because we had a full year. So we had a lot of the ladies on 16 to 1800 calories, some of the guys on 2200, 2400, 2600, depending on their size and, based on their overall metabolic output. And so we could create a pretty solid deficit, like a decent deficit, but we just ramped the deficit through the roof with their movement. And so, yeah, you create a massive deficit like that. People lose weight really fast. Did I do it the wrong way? Well, I guess it depends on the lens that you look at it through. Would I do it differently now? 1,000%. We had acceptable foods lists. I mean, there was real whole natural foods, but let me tell you, there wasn't satisfaction or enjoyment in the foods at all. And I feel terrible about that. I didn't know better, but I kick myself on this over and over again. What if we had actually shown them how to make high protein comfort foods, right? Which is, I think that's my thing now. What if we didn't have them doing as much high intensity cardio, which by the way, the higher intensity cardio, it stimulated a lot more hunger. And so they're already at a calorie deficit and they're moving that much. They were hungry all the time. You can't win that war. That's where I wish I could have done so much differently. Those were probably two of the biggest things. Two of the biggest mistakes is that the foods were restricted and there was a level of deprivation where they felt like I can't have a hamburger, I can't have French fries, I can't have pudding, I can't have ice cream, I can't have pizza. And anytime that you do that, it's going to lead to more obsession over those foods. So I'm kicking myself on that. There's so much more, like, especially knowing what I know now, I wish I could go back and it would have set so many of them up for long-term success. So, and again, I know this wasn't the question, but again, it's just it's an opportunity again for me to express my regret and talk about the things I wish I could go back and do again. And on a positive note, though, You are doing it again. And I can confidently say now that I feel like we're doing it like in a much better way and a much more sustainable way. Cause it's not, here's the thing. The real journey is not about weight loss anymore. It's about keeping it off. I think we've proven it. Anyone could lose weight, but can you keep it off? And in order to keep it off, it has to be enjoyable. You can't just give someone a acceptable food list and have them just deprive themselves and, chicken and broccoli themselves down to a goal weight and think it's going to stick. It ain't. We've seen it time and again, not just observational, but we see it in the statistics too. So it has to be truly enjoyable. So that, and that's also a reason why, like, look, I know cardio is great for you. It's amazing. Do I recommend cardio for all of my peeps losing weight? No, we walk. Like, and when I say cardio, I mean like higher intensity cardio, bleachers, running, all this. No, again, it's phenomenal for your health. But when you're on the weight loss journey, if you want to control your hunger better, then we just walk and we use walking and we use walking pads and standing desks. Like it's huge. And if you don't have access to that, great. It's fine. Just walk. The more you walk, the faster you can create that deficit so you can accelerate your weight loss that much more. And you do it in a much safer way. You're not going to cannibalize nearly as much muscle. And you're not going to, more than anything, you're not going to stoke hunger and cravings, which again, it's a battle you cannot win it in the long run. So I hope that helps answer the question, but that's how we got people to lose a lot of weight fast. If I was to do it under the similar conditions though, I would ask for a longer period of time, especially to lose that much weight. I would want probably a year per 100 pounds, to be honest with you. That's what I'd want. And we can absolutely do that in the most delicious way and walking. And some might even be able to lose more in that amount of time. But I think it would be realistic to say 100 pounds a year. I think I would feel pretty confident in that. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. Michael says, I heard on Instagram that eating frozen blueberries at night helps to reduce body fat while you sleep. That's a new one for me, brother. I haven't heard that one. I'm definitely curious as to the mechanisms behind that. Doesn't seem to make much sense to me, but it's definitely something worth looking into. Interesting, super interesting. Kate loves the chicken fingers in the Deliciously Fit cookbook. Thank you, Kate. Hey, speaking of which, Shine is on here right now. She's my social media manager. And yeah, by the way, thank you guys for participating. For those of you who didn't know, she's going to be picking 3 of y'all that we're going to be giving away my Deliciously Fit cookbook to. Happy New Year. And now it actually comes with the beginner's guide to carb cycling. So you can actually learn how to take the recipes, put them in a carb cycle to help you lose the weight. And we're going to give you guys 6 months on the Kept app as far as an app membership goes. So enjoy and Happy New Year. 3 lucky winners here are going to be contacted later on today. And thank you guys for participating. Little did you know that your participation is going to get you something. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Grace Dash, having lost 125 pounds. Amazing. Good job. She got a DEXA scan and lost 19 pounds of lean muscle. Yeah, we see that. We absolutely see that. How can you prevent muscle loss? Grace, you're speaking my language. I'm glad you brought this up. There's 2 main things. Well, there's a couple more, but the 2 I'm going to really go after, protein intake, you're going to be your protein intake and resistance training. Can you get those 19 pounds back? Not all of them. Just going to shoot you straight. Unless you go into a calorie surplus and you, over time, you're going to slowly start to build some muscle back. But you probably don't want to do a massive calorie surplus because along with the gain of lean muscle, there's probably going to be some gain of fat tissue as well. And you probably don't want to do that. Here's what you can do. If you want to prevent muscle loss, please, my friends, listen up. You must resistance train, which means you have to put your muscles, the biggest muscles groups of your body. There's about 10 major muscle groups I like to focus on. You put them under tension, at least 3 sets a week. And a set would be like a series of repetitions. Doesn't take more than about a minute per set. And you put them under tension until the muscle is exhausted. You do that 3 times. You do that for all 10 muscle groups. And guess what? You can help maintain, that's the stimulus to help maintain the muscle. And with the stimulus, that ain't going to do it alone. You got to do the stimulus. And when the muscle is stimulated, then you have to give it adequate protein. And if you can do that, that muscle will save itself. And you can spare that muscle while you're losing body fat around it. Because I can't stress this enough, especially for my GLP-1 friends or my bariatric surgery friends out there. Please, please, please. And I know it's harder to eat, but this is also why I'm saying don't just, and I know you're doing this with your doctor, maybe have a conversation. If you're having a hard time hitting your targets, your calorie targets, and your protein targets, please have a consultation with your doctor. They're your teammate in this, and let them know that maybe you should even consider titrating down if you can't eat enough calories and you're starving yourself, essentially, because you know you are, if you know you are, then you must be able to hit those protein targets in order to spare. Otherwise, you're going to lose your precious muscle mass, and you're going to set yourself up for long-term reliance on these medications and for frailty and injury and your loss of cognitive processes as you get older. Like, you lose muscles is the organ of longevity. You lose your muscle, you're screwed. So please, I can't stress enough. It's not hard to resistance train. It's not hard to do like 3 sets per muscle per week. You really, it's not bad. And then eating enough protein, that can be a really enjoyable thing. So maybe, you know, again, if it's a difficult thing, you can use shakes, clear protein shakes, regular protein shakes. I mean, lots of different ways. That's probably the easiest way with those liquid calories to be able to get enough protein in, because I know it can be difficult to eat solid proteins. It can be. So do what you can to preserve that muscle. You must. I don't know how many of you guys saw the sizzle, that we call it a sizzle, the teaser video that we put out for the new show, the new concept we're putting out. And it's, you know, and we talked about the fact of like what's happened over the last 10 years. I mean, there's a point where like weight loss shows just went away. Yeah, they were extreme. Look at the name of my show. It's called Extreme, right? So that went away. But then, of course, now we have GLP-1 medications. Not a bad thing, powerful tool, but people are abusing them. And they're not doing them the right way. And they're literally dosing themselves up to a point where they can't eat anymore. And they're screwing themselves in the long, they're screwing their future self. Where it's like, no, use it as a tool. Curb the hunger, curb the food noise, reduce the inflammation, reap the cardiac benefits, increase your insulin sensitivity, right? I mean, and everything else. I mean, it's just like, it's really amazing, powerful stuff. But do it responsibly, because it's powerful stuff. And that sword will cut both ways. And you can do it and still make resistance train, hit your protein targets, nourish your body with enough calories so it doesn't shut down its systems, so your hair doesn't fall out, along with a lot of other things that can happen from you starving yourself. Please do it responsibly. And that's why that show, even at the very end of the show, said, I'm back. Yeah, because I got a message. And we're going to be putting that message out there, and we're going to be creating an opportunity for everybody to maintain their muscle and do the stuff the right way. That's what it's about. So let's freaking go. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Man, I'm so sorry, guys. I've been on a roll today. And so I've been all over the place and tangenting. And in the process of that, I lost track of the time. And I see some amazing questions coming over. But unfortunately, I got to jump to my 11 o'clock. So I really hope this helps you guys. I hope y'all glean some really good information, especially when it comes to habit formation, maintaining your habits, understanding and prioritizing your habit, and where that's going to take you in the next 30 days, anchoring your habit to a daily habit that you're already doing. Because remember, it's these baby steps that are going to get you so far. Christine, don't be concerned about your husband being on a GLP-1. It could be an incredible thing. Please make sure he's doing it the right way, though. And I love that he loves to work out. Okay, eating, then maybe it can actually just, here's the thing. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose. I can't prescribe. I can't do any of that. But see if his doctor would be open to a conversation about titrating him down so that he can eat, so that he's not starving himself, so it's easier to hit his calorie targets. Having a beautiful relationship with my medical team at Thrive Lab. They're awesome. And what's really cool is that they actually understand the importance, and this is why we do things differently. They understand the importance of not just dosing people up like through the roof when it comes to their medication so that they don't eat. No, they actually dose them so that they can actually accurately hit their calories, so that we can properly nourish and feed the body and the muscle to maintain it while we're using GLP-1s as a tool for all the other positive benefits. And so I think this is where the future of it needs to go. Again, I'm not a doctor. And so take it with a grain of salt. But I think if you make your nourishment, and your nutrition, make that the primary focus, and you actually utilize the medication to support the nutrition rather than using nutrition to support the medication. Use medication to support the proper nutrition of your body. I think that's where actually we start to create a beautiful synergistic relationship between adequate nutrition and the medication. So that yes, because remember, there's far more benefits beyond just hunger and food noise, but the combination of the two can be really powerful. And I think that's where we need to go. I love the fact that he can work out, but if he's not eating enough calories and enough protein, he's going to lose the muscle. And so, great conversation to be had with the doctor. Again, this is where we've got something really cool working on with Thrive Lab, and I'm excited to share with you guys where this is going to go. Speaking of which, I do want to throw this up there. I do want to say a special thanks to all my friends at Thrive Lab and Deliciously Fit. 3 of you are going to be getting a book. 3 of you are going to be getting the Kept app as well, so you can actually track. We talked about the benefits of that and the power of that. And as Sandy said, let's get this day started. Let's move. Yes, you do got this. Here we go. All right, friends. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy New Year, everybody. I will see you next week. Heads up. Tentative. This might or might not happen next week as far as the live goes. I've got some travels. I got to run out to California. And so it might be happening around this time. And so I'll make a note. I'll actually notify probably on my stories if this can or cannot happen next week, which would be the first time in a long time because we've been on a heck of a roll. But yeah, work calls and I got to do what I got to do. So stand by. I'll let you guys know. In the meantime, though, I ain't going anywhere. We'll be back. And I'm going to start doing these lives also after our episodes air. So you guys can ask questions and we can have some fun with this. And I want to make sure that you guys are paying attention and keeping up with everything because there's going to be some really good stuff in there. So stand by. Stay tuned, my friends. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, remember, 5:30 Pacific after the episode drops. It's dropping tomorrow morning. I'm going live tomorrow so we can talk about it. I'll see you guys there. Bye.